Hi, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to turn 11 of our during action report for the scenario Another Road to Wiltz. So we've got quite a bit to do this turn. We've had 10 minutes of action so far. It is now 08:40 on the 19th of December, the early days of the German Battle of the Bulge Ardennes offensive, and we've got a push down the centre and another push / probe on our left flank. The first thing we need to consider is our valuable forward observers. They have both managed to call in their artillery. One is in the process of being delivered, the other is due to arrive at some point this turn. So it's time to pull those guys back to a safer location. But also I feel it's time to start to pull all of the frontline troops, or at least some of the frontline troops, back away from the initial point of contact. And this is where the hard cap rules come into play, because if units are within C2, they're free to manoeuvre and move as they wish. However, if they're out of C2, unless they're a independent unit such as scouts or a sniper team, they are restricted as to where they can move. They're only allowed to move within their line of sight. So waypoints and movement points can only be set within their field of view, basically. So what we're going to do to start off with is relocate the observer teams. Now these are independent. They're also actually in C2 with their HQ, but forward observer teams are classed as independent anyway. Now these guys are only about 40 meters away from some German infantry, so we're going to take off their target arc and move them quickly through this tree line, and then we're going to pause them there just for 15 seconds so they can get their breath back, and then we're going to get them quickly across the road to here. Hopefully they'll make it, although there is a concern here. There's some sort of armour parked on this junction here. Hopefully the visibility being quite restricted will help them. The other forward observer team in the centre, same again, we're going to remove their target arc and we're going to move them quickly to the edge of the tree line here. Pause for 15 again. And then continue to move quickly to the edge of the tree line here. That's those guys sorted. Now I'm going to pull first squad of Diehard's Group 1 back because they are under pressure from approaching armour and infantry. So what I'm going to do is actually move them back. As I say, they're out of C2, so they're restricted to moving to what they can actually see. So I'm going to split them into smaller groups and move them individually with pauses in between. So if we look at where we can move them to, these foxholes here are within sight. beyond this, the other side of the wall here is out of sight, so they're not allowed to move there, but they can move to these foxholes. So we're going to split the team into 3 squads, and the first team is going to move quickly to here. The second team is going to pause for 15, and then they're going to move quickly to here. The third team, which has got the BAR, unlucky for them, they're going to have to hold the fort for 30 seconds, and then they're going to move quickly to these foxholes as well. So that's first squad of diehards group 1. Second squad, now do we move them back yet, or do we wait? I think we'll keep them where they are in the hopes of covering the forward observer as he pulls back. Everybody else orders remain the same for diehards group 1. Diehards group 2, probably not much else to do for them either, because so far we've only got sound contacts of armour, and the only visible unit that we have, which is an infantry unit, is only visible to the forward observer team, who are pulling back. So it's time to make a sort of fighting retreat in effect. So we'll zoom out slightly and hit the go button and see what happens. Artillery is continuing to fall at the crossroads. It's reaching the end of the barrage there, and here we see the barrage called in by this forward observer starting to fall. Now unfortunately we may have left it too late for that forward observer, because looks like we've lost him. But we'll have a close look at that shortly. Casualties being received by the anti-tank gun team here as well, which is not good news. So I think we made the right decision to start to pull back. Now I missed stopping it before they're done. That is always a bit annoying, so apologies for that. So first thing we'll do is look at our casualties. Let's take a look at diehards group 1 first. As usual, we'll do them at 5-second intervals. You can see here first squad starting to pull back, as is the forward observer. Second part of first squad starting to move as well. And here comes the BAR section starting to pull back as well. And it looks like they've all made it, which is useful, and no other casualties here. Have we sighted any other units? We've got the Panther parked here at the end of the road, which looks now like he's starting to move towards the town. Infantry unit spotted there. Okay, so that's it for the centre. I think most of the action is on our left flank.